Hello folks, coming up next is something interesting. What is the worst thing you've overheard while pretending to be asleep? In college. Woke up to roommate's bed creaking. I shoot up to see what the hell is going on. There I see some woman on her back with her legs full spread eagle and my roommate just pile driving it like it was his last day on earth. Like a good bro I quickly lie back down and pretend to be asleep. Her, in between gasps of air, is your roommate awake? Him, nah, he sleeps through anything. Cut to next morning. I casually get up and turn on my PlayStation 2 and start playing some random game. Roommate's fling gets up and casually comes over and sits next to me. Her, good morning my name. Me, good morning her name. Her, did you sleep good last night? Me, yeah, I can sleep through anything. As the last word left my mouth I immediately realize I blew it. She began a huge flurry of slaps at my roommate while cursing at him. He didn't care because he was too busy laughing the whole time. Something like, she's too old for this, I'm not going to carry her up to bed anymore. And that was the last time I was magically transported from the living room couch to my bedroom. This is so sad. My son is nearly 13 and was 11 when I was last able to pick him up. When I did I nearly threw my back out and realized this would be the last time I would be able to carry him. I ended up sitting in his bed crying. I can still carry my daughter, 6, at least. I was a camp counselor. 2 girls very much like to make hot or not lists. One of them suggested a male counselor was hot, and the other said he was saying mean things about me behind my back, which made him not hot. Hurt to hear that from my campers, but glad they supported me. Aw, what, that's actually sweet, good on them. My mom having an affair with her fiance's best friend, who was married. In the same room that I was sleeping in. I was like 10 years old. Don't feel too bad. My mom banged some random guy on my bottom bunk while I was on the top bunk. I was probably 8 or 9 at the time. I'm talking loud, vocal, crazy sex. Looking back I assume she was either wasted or just didn't give a poop. Can't ask her now because I haven't seen her since I was around 12 to 13. Anyway, just thought I'd share. My family were staying at a friend's house and had to share a room. My dad comes to bed hammered and says to my mum something along the lines of, does it impress you that I'm this drunk and can still perform? I actually wanted to die. Wow, reading this gave me bystander desire for death. Glad you made it through that one. That I was dying with meningitis, but jokes on the doctors, I'm still kicking. You ever live just to flex on the haters? Yeah, did it to the same doctor twice now. 3rd time lucky. My mom trying to calm my dad down out of a suicidal fit. My brother and I had been really bad that day, and when he grounded us, we both told him that we hated him and wanted him to go away. He didn't do anything wrong. My brother and I were just a couple of immature little clitoris. I'm pretty sure blackout drunk at this point, which I had never seen and still haven't saw since that night, walked into our room that night and I pretended to fall asleep. Then he just started these deep, haunting sobs that I'll probably never forget. He stumbled outside and we could hear him begging my mom to let him die and sobbing, all I've ever wanted in my entire life was to be a better dad than mine. I was only 11 or so, but it ducking destroyed my heart. I think that's the time I learned that emotional pain can actually physically hurt. I was hunched over in my bed bawling my eyes out and on the verge of throwing up. I also felt like an a-hole for crying over what we said. My brother was thankfully able to sleep through it all. I think about that once every 2 weeks or so, and I always message him to tell him I love him when I do. I hope he forgot about it, but being a dad myself now, I don't think it's something you totally forget. It might not hurt like it did in the moment, but I don't think you forget. Like most heartbreaking things, I guess. Parents talking about plans for when they were going to have sex. What were the plans? My dad coming home from work at lunchtime the next day to do it while we kids would be at school. When I got back from school that day, I couldn't look my parents in the eyes. My parents discussing whether or not I was gay, and exploring where they went wrong with raising me. Too many hugs. My mom once asked me if I was depressed because she didn't give me enough hugs. Before I got divorced. Was laying in bed late, 11 a.m. or so, on my day off, after a long string of I think 10 or so work days in a row. My ex, who refused to get a job, was in the next room playing a video game, and I heard him say that motherfing tramp is still sleeping. The motherfing beach paying all the bills so you can sit on your butt 24/7? Yikes! Glad you got out of there. My sister's soon-to-be fiancé wanking while saying her name. At least he wasn't saying someone else's name. Solid commitment to wank over your partner. This is a case of next to everything else in this thread, this looks positively heartwarming. My mom and aunt talking, thinking 10-year-old me was asleep. Aunt, little runs _n_ gosies is so cute. Mom, no, he's not very good looking at all. Had the same experience, but the difference was that I wasn't asleep and my mom said that in front of me. My dad and stepmom was having a foursome with a couple of their friends. We were at a summer house and they did it in the living room. I felt so uncomfortable eating breakfast the next day. Damn bro. I'd be uncomfortable too. Acted asleep while family were talking amongst themselves about getting me married off to this girl who's educated but 5 years older than me. I was 15. Then she got married and divorced and absolutely ragdoll abused. So I actually feel bad about it now. My mom getting the crap beat out of her. Update, thanks for everything guys, like I said in a reply, it was 30 years ago. He and my mom were married on/off until about 7 years ago when he put her in the hospital and I ended up breaking his nose and a rib. No idea where he is now, but she knows if she ever talks to him again or mentions him she loses a son. Update 2, I noticed some people following me. You really don't want to do that, I'm what you call a very nice anus. I do argue about stupid meaningless poop and have a very strong opinion against racism and fascists. I've only posted one original content here. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.